Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
The state government is once again facing pressure to introduce a power price cap to protect Tasmanians from rising costs. New figures show customers are paying more than $200 extra a year for electricity. The government believes increasing power generation is the way forward.
It won't come as a shock to Tasmanians their power bills are growing. Global instability sending prices soaring, with households and businesses feeling the pinch.
The number one issue businesses tell us right across Tasmania is the cost of doing business increasing. One of the most important things in cost of doing business is the cost of power.
A St Vincent de Paul report painting a picture many currently face. It found tariff costs are up to $265 higher in 2023 compared to 2022. The average home now paying more than $3,000 a year. The report's author says while we're faring better compared to other states, this on top of soaring household costs could push many to the brink.
Cumulative with all the other things that are going on in households, this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Tasmanians are struggling with the cost of power, and that they do need a government that listens and cares and takes action.
The opposition seizing on the findings, once again calling for a price cap.
Making sure that after 100 years of investment in hydro, Tasmanians get the benefit from that.
We understand, of course, that cost of living pressures are very real for people.
But the government says extra supply is a solution.
We need to generate more of this beautiful, clean, green, hydro-based electricity that the whole nation wants.
The TCCI warns economic growth could be impacted.
We have a great opportunity to take advantage of the energy available to us. We need to put that in context of making price affordable for Tasmanians.
In some good news, the National Energy Regulator's quarterly report has found wholesale prices in Tasmania are down by a staggering 86% compared to this time last year. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Counting has begun in the seat of Clark to find a replacement for Elise Archer. The former Attorney-General quit Parliament earlier this month following allegations of bullying and inappropriate text messages. 12 candidates are contesting the recount, including City of Hobart councillor Simon Barakis, who has an early lead in the countback. The Tasmanian Electoral Commission says a result is expected tomorrow. Investigators have confirmed the fire at Zero Davy Boutique Apartments early Sunday morning was accidental. Tasmania's fire service says the blaze started in the kitchen of a ground floor restaurant. Around 100 guests evacuated and relocated to the Hotel Grand Chancellor. Their escape made challenging by an electrical issue in the fire detection system, which stopped the alarms from ringing. Investigations into that malfunction are continuing. A mother forced to relinquish her newborn baby in 1969 says it's taken 50 years to find her voice. Other victims today shared in her sorrow, repeating calls for justice while they're still alive.
United by unimaginable grief, this group of mothers forced to give their babies up for adoption at the hands of an illegal policy which ran between the 1950s and 80s.
The person who went into that hospital disappeared, and I was never the same again.
Teenage, single and pregnant, the victims were deemed unfit to care for a child, intimidated into signing their newborns over to stereotypical families.
When the welfare came, I asked for options. They told me I had 2. I could sign the papers. Second, not sign the papers, and they would be on the doorstep every week, and within 6 months the baby would be in foster care.
The health system adding to their trauma.
I was tied to a bed and left. So I rang the bell a couple of times and nobody came. So my daughter was born and she was slipping over the side of the bed.
I was put in a ward with mothers and their babies, and I wasn't allowed to have my baby.
11 years ago, former Labor Premier Lara Giddings apologised for the policy and pain it caused.
I move that the Tasmanian community acknowledges and takes responsibility for the past practices of forced removal and adoption of children.
The findings from a Senate inquiry, also released in 2012. Labor now vowing to work with its federal colleagues on implementing the report's recommendations if elected.
The ones that I'm most focused on are the request from that Senate inquiry that the federal government lead national conversations around establishing national compensation schemes with the states.
But the government says it's already implemented a number of practical redress initiatives, including free adoption records, family tracing services and counselling. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmania Fire Service has marked 140 years since the establishment of the Hobart Fire Station by unveiling new honour boards at a ceremony this afternoon. It recognises 385 current and past firefighters who have served 15 consecutive years at the brigade. The Governor and the Fire and Emergency Management Minister among those helping mark the occasion. Several brigade members were also presented with national medals and long service awards. The Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra will hit the road next year, taking its shows to venues in every corner of the state. Unveiling its 2024 season today, some of the TSO's collaborations might surprise you.
A string quartet and a country music duo. An unexpected match that's, well, music to your ears.
A lot of people think that a symphony orchestra is very much just classical music, and we are not like that at all.
One of many surprises in the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra's 2024 season, a collaboration with homegrown country stars, the Wolf Brothers. They'll be rocking out with a full orchestra in April.
We are just so happy with what we've created, and I think it's just going to be, something really all Tasmanians we really can enjoy.
The orchestra is bringing a range of unexpected shows to unexpected stages around the state.
If you want to listen to music in a pub, or in a brewery, or in a beautiful little chamber music venue up north, or in the big Federation Concert Hall, or at Rest Point, we're covering all the venues and lots of different types of music.
Giving everybody a chance to witness the TSO in action.
I want our young players, whether they're from the Huon or wherever they are in Tasmania, in all regional areas, to know that there is an opportunity for a career in the arts.
You never know who it might inspire.
Man, when we were sitting down at home writing this in the bedroom when we were, 10 years ago or whatever, and who would have ever thought, we'd one day get to play it with all these musicians of such an incredible calibre.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The Huon Valley Artist Studio Trail is making a comeback with around 40 creators from Crabtree to Dover preparing to open their galleries to the public. This year's trail is in memory of Bronwyn Clark, who co-founded the 4-year-old event.
An artist living in the bush develop a certain resilience and resourcefulness in the development of their work and the finding and collecting of objects, because you can't always go to town for that one thing.
It gives the visitors and locals a chance to go behind the scenery and really look at some places that they wouldn't normally get to.
The trail will run from 10 to 4 o'clock this weekend. Hotels from Devonport to Launceston are fully booked for the weekend of the Tasmanian Craft Fair in Deloraine with a 100% occupancy rate. Businesses across the state are cashing in on the $3 million the fair injects into the economy, like Think Big Printing, which has been tasked with creating signs for the event. But it's not only businesses benefiting.
The proceeds that are raised from the event, we're going to be investing them with Deloraine House in Deloraine. They're in the process of setting up some emergency accommodation for homeless people.
Tickets are still available for the 4-day fair, which starts on November 3. A Tasmanian man has been given 1 million reasons to celebrate after discovering his estate's latest lotto winner. The Hobart resident held one of 11 winning entries in Saturday's Tats Lotto, pocketing $1.8 million. He'd purchased his ticket online and was unaware of his good fortune until a life-changing phone call at work this morning. He says he plans to pay off his mortgage, but not before celebrating the win tonight.
After recording their highest ever score and doing it against the reigning premiers no less, the Jack Jumpers return home with no time to dwell on their big win over the Sydney Kings, highlighted by Jordan Crawford's stunning 32-point haul. Needing to prepare for an even bigger weekend, hosting Melbourne at home followed by a trip to Brisbane on Sunday, there are no qualms from the captain about managing the tight turnaround.
For the most part we've handled it okay, but yeah, a lot of the focus will be Friday night. To be honest, no one's even spoken about Sunday.
Next weekend is the team's third doubleheader of the season. A personal best performance has handed Hobart's Max Giuliani a gold medal at the Swimming World Cup's final round in Budapest, beating out rival Danis Rapsis. Max slashing almost 5 seconds off his previous PB to finish 0.3 of a second ahead of the Lithuanian and claim top podium spot in the 200-metre freestyle. The Hurricanes aren't licking their wounds as they fly out to Perth, looking to redeem themselves against the Scorchers following a dismal showing on home turf. The pressure is on, preparing to face the same side which beat them by 98 runs just 3 nights ago.
It's a brand new game and every game's pretty different. You never quite know what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll look to put in, we'll have a little bit of a review and we'll go into the next game fresh.
Captain Elise Villani is travelling with the squad after withdrawing from Friday's match late, while there's no return date set yet for Nicola Carey.
Good evening. We welcomed much calmer conditions today, although some showers persisted about the west and south. Hobart 19, Launceston the state's top with 23, Devonport 22, Burnie 20 degrees. Bushy Park 20, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 19, Grove and Lowhead 18, Flinders Island 17, 16 for Marai Island, Luncheon Hill and Strawn, Lyweenie 13 degrees. The satellite shows southwesterly winds pushing cloud over western and southern Tasmania with clearer skies in the northeast. Areas of low-level cloud sits over Tasmania, parts of Victoria and southern WA. A large mass of cloud lies over the Bight and some mid and high-level cloud is moving over southern SA. Tomorrow, a low passes to the southwest of the island with an associated cold front crossing Tasmania and Victoria. A ridge of high pressure extends over southern WA and SA with a couple of troughs over northern Australia. North to northeasterly winds 15 to 25 knots, increasing up to 35 knots about the west, with winds tending north to northwesterly, increasing up to 40 knots about the west. The west and south can expect west to southwesterly swells 1 to 2 metres. Now, there's a severe weather warning for most parts of the state. A gale warning has been issued between Tasman Island to Wineglass Bay. A strong wind warning continues for the remainder of the state. Tomorrow, windy in Hobart, showers with 23, similar conditions, and 21 for Adventure Bay, 18 and increasing showers for Tarraleah. Launceston 20 with showery and windy conditions, much the same for Devonport, 18, Bridport 19. Wet and windy conditions about the west, Burnie 16, 20 in Strawn, 17 in Marrawar. Partly cloudy and 21 for St Helens, similar in Swansea, 22, very windy, and 20 at the top for Whitemark. Wednesday, showers about the west, south and Bass Strait Islands extending statewide at times, with possible small hail about the west and far south, with snowfall to 600 metres. Thursday, showers about the west and south, easing and contracting to the far south. We can expect a possible morning inland frost with snow to 800 metres. Friday, we will likely wake to morning patchy frost. Mainly fine conditions will develop throughout the day. Taking a look now to the mainland tomorrow, mostly sunny and 35 in Darwin. Similar conditions in Brisbane, 30 degrees, a cool change for Melbourne with 26. Taking a look now at current conditions, Hobart partly cloudy 18, Launceston clear 20, also clear and 19 in Devonport. Murphy's Law, pardon the pun, with milder spring conditions, they always seem to return on a Monday, Kim.
Very true. Murphy's Law still influencing us from afar, isn't it? And that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.